Alright, guys, welcome to one more installment of Freedom versus Communism. Uh, Freedom versus Communism, the Economics of Survival. And we're going to do the final chapters of Book 1, The Communist Challenge, and two more chapters, the economics, and then the very last chapter I'll read in a separate video, which is called Reality versus Illusion. So right now I'm going to read two chapters. One of them is called Economics has received less attention than many other areas, and the other chapter is called Our Economy is Important. So there we go. Let's get on with it. Okay. Economics has received less attention than many other areas. Americans generally value their political freedoms. The origin and development of the American Republic has been taught to every schoolchild. Much emphasis has been placed on the relationship of freedom to the division of powers among the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branches of our government. The concept of limited government and division of responsibilities between national government and state and local governments are recognized as contributing to the preservation of our liberties. We have learned all about the Constitution with its Bill of Rights that guarantees us freedom of religion, freedom of the press, and many other great freedoms that we possess and will fight to maintain. The importance of these political freedoms to each one of us cannot be overemphasized. All of us have heard reports of liquidations and purges, of heart-quaking knocks at the door by secret police, and of the horrors of slave labor camps in communist countries. These have served to dramatize the importance of our personal freedoms, in contrast to considerable volume of information about the loss of individual political freedom under communism. There has been little available material on the basic differences in our two economic systems and the way these differences affect individuals. Many descriptions of the way Russians work and live have been published in this country. In recent years, there has been much discussion, too, of the overall growth of the Russian economy in comparison with our economy. Writers of articles in economic journals and witnesses before congressional committees have analyzed the Russian economic system in considerable detail. Yet, for the most part, there has been relatively little popular discussion of such significant questions as: what are the strengths in our economic system, the weaknesses of our economic system, the strengths and weaknesses of the communist economic system, and most important, what can we do to make our system work better? A few years ago, a study revealed that, a few years ago from when this book was actually published. So a few years ago from this present day, things may have been different, but anyway, a few years from the publishing of this particular book, a study revealed that although the American people expressed firm support of the American economic system, there has been widespread failure to understand why our economy has brought unparalleled prosperity to our people. There was little appreciation of how and why our economy works, the basic principles on which it operates. This course emphasizes those basic principles. Where possible, it compares the operation of our economy with the operation of the Russian economy. And you'd have to read up on more updated version of our economy and the Russian economy, available on the internet, of course. But anyway, comparing the Soviet economics. Comparing the Soviet and United States economies in some ways is like comparing the comparing the Soviet and United States economies in some ways was like comparing the American eagle and the Russian bear. They are both two different things. Moreover, the problem is complicated by the difference in statistical information available in two countries, the secrecy of the Russians and their distortions of facts for propaganda purposes. And this was Russia under its rulers of the time, its communist rulers of that particular time, and stuff like that. So, but this information can apply to other countries that are present-day Soviet-like, like North Korea, Burma, and many other countries. Anyway, there are two different things. Moreover, the problem is complicated by the differences in statistical information available on the two countries, the secrecy of the Russians and their distortion for propaganda purposes, which everybody's right now doing distortions for propaganda purposes, even today. Everybody's doing it. People do it to each other's political enemies on election time. And since the one guy always has the hard-on against the other guy, and they both have hard-ons against each other and their people, you can rightly call it Election Day. But anyway, on with the rest of the book. Despite such problems, a revealing comparison of significant differences in the operation of our economy and the economy of the Soviet Union is possible. Because the communists have played up every success to the full propaganda limit, we are perhaps in danger of losing our sense of proportion and perspective. The Overstreets, in their book, What We Must Know About Communism, have pointed out, to a greater degree, we may realize we have let the communists, by their insistent propaganda, distort our image of ourselves. They have called us warmongers and imperialists until we wanting to be neither. Oh, and North Korea does that all the time right now. Oh, they're telling their people the American imperialism this, and the American imperialism that. Well, anybody who talks about the American imperialism, yeah, there's a type of imperialism going on here amongst certain classes of people here. They do it in a slightly more different way, but yeah, they talk about American imperialism, but they don't call the way they control their people, throw them in jail for every damn little thing, or send them to slave labor camps. North Korea. Oh, they don't call that imperialism. Censoring every single criticism of government, any subtle criticism of government, they could send you and your whole family to a slave labor camp and whatnot. Some of these communist countries, oh, they don't consider that imperialist, but yeah, they keep saying American imperialism. Yeah, seems like it. Yeah, they always say that when they're pissed off because they don't have their style of imperialism running the entire world, which can be a little scarier. Ourselves, our country could turn. Yeah, put it this way: if our country has not yet even become what they accuse us of, but some of us fear that it's getting there, and us as Americans have to speak out, exercise our rights to be able to help discourage that. So anyway, where was I? Okay. Yeah, I almost lost my place here. Alright, here we go. See what happens when I yammer on. Okay, yeah, I left off on this page. Yeah, about to the the Overstreets in their book. We must know what the Overstreets in their book. What we must know about communism have pointed out to a greater degree that we may realize we have let the communists, by their insistent propaganda, distort our image in ourselves. They have called us warmongers and imperialists we until I hate when the word gets in one page, until we, wanting to be neither, have become half persuaded that we are both. Okay, so that was that statement alone. Uh, there was a point to my yammering where I just lost my place here, that I started yammering. So yeah, this is why this was the point to my yammering here, and I losing my place. That this is some my yammering made some sense here because talking about their double standards and their accusations anyway. But yeah, anyway, they have spotlighted every unsolved problem in our society until we have lost our sense of proportion and of honest accomplishment in an orgy of guilt feelings. They have called us smug and self-righteous until we have become self-conscious about showing any pride at all in our traditions and any way of living. I don't care for people that are self-righteous, but there's nothing wrong with being smug. Put it that way. Yeah, Americans are smug. I'm smug as all hell, and I'm proud of it. But self-righteous, no. But yeah, a lot of Americans call each other uh, self-righteous, no doubt, because we criticize each other's religions, and since we're a melting pot, we have many races, religions, what have you, and different. And some of us are in whether we're religious or the extreme left or the extreme right, and all that crap. So yeah, that goes with the territory in America too. So anyway, they have called us smug and self-righteous until we have become self-conscious about showing any pride at all in our traditions and our present way of living. Today, so that's another thing too. One thing I'm going to yammer a little bit more too. This statement here, they have spotlighted every problem in our society until we have lost our sense of proportion and honest accomplishment and of an orgy of guilt feelings. They have called us smug and self-righteous until we have become self-conscious about showing any pride in all our traditions or present-day living. So one thing I want to say and yammer some more too, they'll encourage racism among people. And I'm not a racist, I got black friends, and I worked with a lot of people who were black that they got along real well, and they had my warped sense of humor and different kind of humor, and we had different our takes on things were good. And these communists and other kind of extreme people will encourage racism, and they want blacks and whites to hate each other. And this statement that I just read, guilt feelings and ashamed of any pride in our traditions, and they'll make the white person, tell the black guy that the white person is, if he's too proud of himself, of whether, like, say, of being Irish or being this or that. I mean, he'd probably be accused of being a part of some white pride movement and try to make us self-conscious. They want, and not all blacks are like that, but they want that. And then there's nothing wrong with proud of being white, and there's nothing wrong with pride of being black. You know what I mean? Hey, if you're black, you're proud. If you're black, you're black. And if you're black, you're proud. Be black and proud. If you're white and proud, be white and proud. And blacks and whites can be both of those things together and get along. You know what I mean? What's so hard about that? But But communism wants to play us off against each other, maybe make you ashamed of your nationality and traditions, and blacks that turn them against whites and turn them against each other, turn whites against each other because there's whites with different beliefs that will have so many whites fighting with each other, blacks fighting with each other, shooting each other, and whites fighting with each other, shooting each other. They want that, And after all, what I just read in the beginning of this book too, the reason why the overthrow of the Russia happened and it turned to communism and these people took over is because when the overthrow of the government happened at that time, it said in his book that the people were all divided about how everything should be done and just divided, period. So these people wanted that, and it may have even worked better than they planned, when you have a bunch of people's, and that when you have a bunch of people's divided, and that's what happens. That's why communism took over Russia in the first place. It said earlier in this book. But if you followed my first readings. But anyway, let's get back to it here, all right. Okay, the next paragraph. Today, our economic system is under attack. Well, today was the present day of when this book was written, but that statement still applies to today. Yes, even today, even though this book was written a while back. This present day, yes, our economic system is under attack, and everything is under attack. Today, our economic system is under attack. Communists say it is in its last stages of decay and collapse. No one claims our system is perfect, but its problems should not be permitted to overshadow its demonstrated effectiveness on the whole in providing for the needs and desires of people. A better understanding of the economic system built on the principle of free choice rather than compulsion, and a comparison with the economic system of Russia may give us a better sense of proportion. But anyway, yeah, we worry about this all the time. The economy is all into the whole freaking world now. The way the money and the currency system, and then even if you're an atheist, in my book, even if you're an atheist, something similar to what's said in that book of Revelation can happen. You could be an atheist and not even read a Bible to know that a monetary system, getting interconnected all over the world with electronically, can collapse. And when it collapses, communism can take over, but it's going to be far worse than that. You're going to have another Dark Ages, and it would pretty much going to be pretty nasty. And the ones that still have guns and ammo stored away left over are the ones that are going to have the power. So that's why these people, with all we're hoping that they'll have all the guns and be able to tell us all what to do. And while everybody else would be trying to hold civilization together, you know what I mean? But anyway, 18 minutes, 19 minutes into this video, culmination of my yammering on and on here. This is not a very long chapter. I'll go ahead and Alright, you know what? I'm just going to read the next chapter in a separate video. It's going to be called Our Economy is Important. Yeah, this is already a 20-minute long video. Didn't look like a very long chapter, but I did some yammering there, so I'm going to read the next chapter in the next video. So, stay tuned.